It's designed to be easy to demonstrate, straightforward for us to implement, easy for the users to operate and to take ownership for. We totally agree with Phil's 3 T's, so right tool, Oracle Planning, platform to extend, part of the EPM suite, which includes financial consolidation close, account reconciliation, and a centralized reporting hub, narrative reporting. Right technique, deliver in phases, start small, start with the platform, extend in additional phases. Right traction, experts in the product, so us the GK, experts in finance processes, that's us and you, obviously, in your own processes, and one team. We want to deliver as a team, isn't it? It's more fun. I will now show the why the GK template is intuitive and easy for users to understand and to adopt. So our template, it's got 3 processes: actual reporting, forecast planning, budget planning. And I'm going to show you each of those in turn. So if we go to actual reporting, you see you've got a nice button navigation flows, but you've also got a hamburger in the corner which you can navigate with. So there's 4 tools in Oracle Planning to do your reporting. First one is dashboards, as you see here. Second one is forms, which are a view into the database and interactive, so you can load and change data. Reports, which are produced from a brand new management reporting tool, and Smart View, which is Excel as a user interface. And a lot of our customers spend all their time in Excel, just using it as a user interface into the product. How do you get your data in? So data in is through native integration with Oracle ERP Cloud, if you're lucky enough to have that, or bundled. The system comes with what we call an EPM agent, and that allows for on-premise sources to be integrated. When we do our integration, we use a staging scenario, so that allows us to do all the integration and all the calculations required. For example, calculating a cash flow effectively offline, and then we just flash the staging scenario over to the actual scenario, and that calculates in less than a second, and giving the users almost 0 downtime. Okay, so dashboard. So you've got a lot of different types of charts and ways to display your data, including these big numbers. If we flash through them, you can see you've got donuts and all types of different ones. What we've done, these are kind of the out the box how Oracle like the dashboards to look. In our forecast and budgeting planning cycles, we've built some dashboards kind of like how we like them to do. So KPIs on the right, and then some information on the left in chart form. One of the most dashboard that we like the most is in the planning side. So what we've built is a walk from forecast to budget, and this we built with a waterfall type chart. And as you can see, it easily shows you that net income and budget is less than net income and forecast because of a reduction in sales and an increase in expenses. Okay, so if we go back to actuals for the moment, forms. So forms, as I said, are a window onto the database, and these are interactive. So you can change the selections, and they will load up. So all the data in our template is what we call live, because every time you save data, it automatically recalculates. So the balance sheet is dynamic. The cash flow is dynamic, aggregations are dynamic. So that means that the number that you're looking to at the moment is live. So you can create forms. So this is a standard income statement form with the current month, year to date, year total, and last year's actuals. You can also create forms which have by month. So this is a good one that shows by month. And if we look at the actual scenario, we can see that we've only loaded data up to September. These forms can also be sent straight to SmartView. So let's just do that now. And the good thing about SmartView is you can use Excel formatting. So we haven't used Excel formatting in this demo, but there's absolutely no reason why we can't. Log in. This just shows you that the system is live. So if we show that, it's the same form now in Excel, and you've got the same functionality. So you can choose selections, refresh, and you get your live data. Okay, so if we go back to the app, we've also got reports in the app, and here's a report that we, excuse us for the garish colors, but we just wanted to show that you can use any colors, any format that you want. And it's a brand new tool implemented last year by Oracle, and it allows you to distribute these reports to users on a schedule. You can on demand, you can send them by email, which we call bursting. You can do an HTML or PDF. You can send them to Excel, and with the PDF, you can easily download to your computer. So this is the form downloaded to the computer in the report. Okay, so what's next? So next after reports is SmartView. So if we want to look at the SmartView again, what SmartView allows is forms, which you can see by the panel. So in our forms, you can see the panel. So these are the actual forms which I was showing you earlier, and this one is actually the income statement. But if we look at the income statement by month that we looked before, there it is. You can again do for the months. So if we go back to our income statement, what we can do is use this what we call speed of thought analysis to have a look at the variances, which is very handy in this world. So, for example, we've got a variance here. Let's pick one, freight. Why is that freight different between forecast and budget? So what we need to do is turn this form into an ad hoc report. Select only on freight, and then we can just send the months to the pivots and then zoom in. And we can see the reason we've got variance is because we've got a variance in the current month. So this really is next generation reporting capability. Okay, so actual reporting in Oracle Planning is a comprehensive solution to ingest, analyze, and report your data. Combine it with forecasts and budgets in the tool, and we think you have a winning solution. Okay, so let's go have a look at forecast planning in the tool. So forecast planning, we built three planning processes and two kind of review processes. So we've got you plan by revenue up here. So you see here, this is the overview. You've got revenue here. You've got expense here. You've got balance sheets and the income statement. You've got balance sheet and cash flow. So each one of these allows you to plan and review the data, effectively allowing bottom-up planning. All the data that's saved is recalculated automatically, and this means that your balance, your data is always correct, and balance sheet and cash flow are calculated automatically. So within each planning process, what we have is we've got driver-based planning. So these are the drivers. So drivers like volume, average selling price, which join together to create product revenue. So if you have a look, if I change the average selling price by 10, you can see that product revenue will increase, and also the chart will show the increase. So there we go. So that looks quite high. So let's put that back to what it was. And within these adjustments, you can see that you can do it automatically, puts it by month, or you can just do it individual months. So let's just do one, which is effectively year total. It means £4 every month. And let's restore back to our dashboard. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that in your forecast process, you've got trends which you can change your drivers with, and these trends, the whole list of them, which I've got here, and the whole list means that you can choose from the drivers you want. And there's different drivers for forecast planning and for budget. So in forecast planning, you might want current year actual, hold forecast to current plan, prior year actual. You might want a monthly growth or a monthly run rate. So they're all there. If you want additional kind of trends, we can set those up for you. Also, within planning, you've got direct entry. So direct entry, you can just enter data. So you can enter data going 1M for 1 million, 1K or 1,000. If you enter in year total, it'll split across the year where possible. If you enter in the quarter, it'll split across the quarter. Or you can enter into individual months. Hit save, and that will automatically update. And these forms, if you don't want to do them here, you can do them in Excel. So let's have a look at this form in Excel. There you go. Here's the form in Excel. So again, you can just update these values and hit submit, and that will save it. The quarter functionality doesn't work in Excel. Okay, so let's go back to the app. So within the app, there's a report for each planning. So in revenue, we've got total revenue. You can look at by product. We've got 2 products here, 1 product, 1 service. You can look at it by total. You can change the entity and the currency. Expense planning is the same. So you've got drivers built in for sales and marketing, which makes sense under a sales and marketing cost center. So expense planning differs from revenue planning, and it's by cost center. The revenue planning is by product. Both of these could be customized to use project instead. You've got compensation drivers, which are set up by headcount, by nights per trips. You've got service drivers, facilities and training. And for expenses that don't have a driver, what we've got is trend-based planning. So for this trend-based planning, you see that in September, there's 83,000 selling expense. So we can say actual period actual, current period actual. Delete that, and if we hit save, this will put 83,000 into the into each period, which we can see here. There we go. Also with expenses, we can do direct entry, and we've got a report that gives us total expenses. So these are operating expenses, not direct expenses, which are covered in the revenue planning under cost of sales. If you want to review revenue and income together, look at the income statement. Balance sheet planning is able to be done as well. So balance sheet planning is similar, and you've got drivers. One of the drivers here is we've got days sales outstanding. So if you increase the days sales outstanding, you increase your accounts receivable. If we increase that, you can see that accounts receivable increases. And if we decrease it, you can see that the accounts receivable decrease. We've also got trend-based planning for accounts which don't have a driver, which I guess in the balance sheet is most of them. We've got direct entry planning, and of course we've got a balance sheet form report that balances to zero. And the way it balances is using short-term borrowing or short-term investments. And once you've just looked at your balance sheet, you can look at your cash flow. Cash flow also is a self-balancing report because your net cash flow has to equal your cash change. So here we've got net cash flow of -7 million, and we've got cash change of -7 million. Where cash change is closing cash minus opening cash. And the reason it balances is because we take the balance sheet movement of every balance sheet account except for the cash accounts, and that gives us completeness across the statement. So forecast revenue, expense, balance sheet and cash flow in an easy to use tool. As an aside, we implemented for a recent client in the oil and gas industry, and before we came in, their project has stalled. So we came in with our approach, right tools for the right job. They were using consolidation, a tool to do management reporting, which is obviously better in Oracle planning. Right technique. So we rebuilt what they've done using the latest dynamic databases and best practice. And right traction, we worked with them closely with their team, set up a steering committee, and got them live. Budget planning is very similar to forecast planning, and this is on purpose so that your planners that do their monthly or quarterly forecasts, when they come to do the budget, they're familiar with it as well. With budgeting, it may make sense to budget 2 years. So in this model, we've got 2 years set up for budgeting, but it's completely up to you how many years you have. If you want a 5-year plan, we recommend strategic modeling. So you've got the same processes down the side. You've got revenue planning, you've got expense planning, you've got income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow. If we go have a look at one of these processes, you see the difference now is that you've got 2 years, and also you've got different trends to use. So forecast with seasonality, you can see that this has copied the same forecast seasonality that we had in the forecast. And if we look at the next year, we can see that what we're doing is year-on-year increase, decrease, which makes sense for like a 2nd-year plan. And this also copies the increase, decrease for every specific month. So you see we're keeping the seasonality. How do you set up budget planning? So we set it up by copying opening balances into the opening balance for the plan. Now, usually you start your budget before you finish the previous year. So we can got functionality to copy the balance sheet balances from the last period of your forecast or from the actual period that you're in. So for this case, it would be September. So that's budget planning. So, revenue, expense, and balance sheet cash flow planning. in the same familiar tool that you use for forecast planning. So, in conclusion, Oracle planning can be implemented using these type of templates, easier than you think to get started. The template we've built is a solid model, we think. Platform for growth, extendable, and by extendable I mean common extensions that we see is a standalone revenue model. And we can convert almost any Excel revenue model into a model in the system. Standard customization to get started for a customer. You would give us your chart of accounts, which we would build in the system. We would agree the dimensions, which in this case is product and cost center, but could well be service or project or line of business. We would add your entities and your entity currencies, and we would perform the integration with your ERP, either using native integration or the EPM agent. And lastly, we would customize these navigation flows so that they follow your processes. And what I like about these is you can go through these one by one until you've completed your plan with the cash flow. The final thing we would set up for most of our clients is translation. So Oracle translation works out the box, and we can extend this to calculate proportion and even elimination at the first common parent using an intercompany dimension. So all in all, our template promises a straightforward implementation where we work with you as partners to build the best platform for future development. We believe the journey to the best solution is best traveled in phases to incorporate your detailed requirements and to lower the overall cost of delivery and risk, where cost and risk are the same thing. Also, we find it quicker to do this way because you're not having to schedule a big bang go live. Okay, thank you. That's the demo, and back to you, Sophie.